Allah is the one who gives consciousness.
So
and this consciousness...
Where does he give it from?
This from himself, or he creates.
So
but it's not
part
coming...
of
No, this is the point. From himself, meaning that he creates it. It doesn't mean that it comes a physical part of him.
He creates a little
which
bit
I
more
think...
consciousness for you.
No. Like God created you, your physical form, right? In our understanding, or the universe, He creates the soul, right? This soul is not a part of the physical essence of Allah. It's a creation of Him. Yeah.
You said that I was born.
Yeah, you're in a state of submission, basically. Yeah.
Submission.
Yes. So, what I'm talking about is you know, Oxford University, they have done a study, right? 57 academics. Have you heard? 57 academics gathered in Oxford. They done a study. Do you know about this?
No.
So they did a study on a span of 3 years, 20 different countries, on children, and they came to the conclusion that they believe in a higher being. They believe in the existence of some higher power, right? So this is the innate disposition. They believe there's an island that was discovered in the Amazon as well. They found out the same. These people have innately believing in a higher entity. Same goes with the Red Indians. If you read the book of the Gospel of the Red Man. So there is evidence to substantiate that people are born in a state of believing in a higher power, which we call Islam, right? And it's a higher power above you, cannot be seen. These things are common, right?
Like Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is not a higher being in a sense. It's a human being, you know, with a beard. No, who believes that?
Well,
Yeah.
lots of children believe that.
Yeah, they do, the children. But what I'm saying is...
But you're saying it's a higher power. I mean, you know, he's more powerful than a human.
something more...
He goes around at light speed on Christmas Day.
Not necessarily that. Something higher than us, right?
Well, that is higher than us.
Yeah, that is higher than us. But the innate disposition is that you will believe that there's something beyond you. Mostly created all of this universe or something like
You're
that.
saying a creator.
Yeah, in
You're
a
not
sense.
saying a higher being. You're saying
Yeah, but a creator is a higher being as well, isn't it?
Well, I know, but you're defining it by creation. So
Yes.
what you started by saying was that...
No, I'm not.
No, you started there saying there's a study that children innately believe in a higher being. But now
Yes,
you translate...
higher power, yes.
Now you,
Yeah,
higher
yeah,
power.
yeah.
But now you translated higher power into creation. So you are taking yourself away from that study.
I thought it's synonymous in your understanding that they will be both. In my understanding, it is.
Well, no, because even when I challenge you on that, you say,
Okay.
well, no, I said that Santa is a higher power.
Sorry?
Santa Claus is a higher power.
Sure. So that's why I was...
Now, then you're saying no, but...
You know why? Because I said I thought they were synonymous in my understanding.
Higher
That a higher power would be a creator of the universe. This is how I understand it personally, right?
Why
That's
do you-
why I said... That's
do
why...
you- That would be the highest power, wouldn't it? Rather than a higher power.
Maybe if you define, I believe there's only one higher power from that sense. I don't believe that angels are
You don't think
defined as higher power, for example, or someone who has a power defined as a higher power.
You don't think
My
Angel
understanding,
Gabriel's not a higher power than human.
he has a higher power than human beings. But when I say higher power, I mean the higher power.
The highest power.
The higher power. This is why the highest power.
No, well, it must be the highest power. If
This
you've got
is
gradation,
word
it's
semantics,
not
right?
semantics, it's not
Okay,
semantics.
let's
Because
say
you
the higher power.
utilised one study
Yes.
saying higher power, but now you're translating it to the highest power.
Okay, so this study showed that they believed in something beyond them, right? Something beyond them.
Okay.
So whether it's Santa Claus, whether you want to call it, right? But it's something beyond them. So I was just talking about the position that you said that you're born atheist or agnostic or something like that, right? So that's why we say you're born as a Muslim, right? Not because of the studies, obviously. It's for theological accounts. But this studies prove it in a sense, right? Or back it up, if you want to say, right? So what made you come to the conclusion? This was my question in the beginning, right? Why are you an atheist?
Well, I'm an agnostic.
Okay, sure, okay. Why are you an agnostic? Are you born here?
I was,
Yeah, you was born here. You was born in a Christian family or not a Christian family?
Yeah.
You were exposed to Christianity, basically, right? And then you found that maybe that it doesn't make sense, so you decided to be agnostic, or how did it go?
yeah.
Okay, so that's how. So when you became an agnostic, right? Did you come to the point where you reject all religions, or are you saying that there might be something out there? There might be something. There might be something out there that is actually a higher power, a higher being that created the universe. That might exist. You said you're agnostic, so do you accept that one of the religions now, not ignore the higher power, right? One of the religions could be true.
Do I accept that one of the religions?
Yeah,
could be
that
true?
there is a possibility that one of the religions are true.
don't know. I think that's jumping quite a lot of steps for me to say that they could be true. I can't. I think it's jumping too many steps. So.
Which steps are we jumping?
Well, it's assuming that I have enough knowledge about all of the religions to define, for me to be able to assess in any meaningful way whether they could be true or not.
Yeah, but you didn't understand my question. It was not about like knowing them. I mean, without knowing anything or looking to them, do you now assume that one of them might be? There's a possibility that one of them might be true.
Without knowing anything?
Without looking at them, because you only looked at Christianity, right? So what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to say,
possible.
do you know what I'm trying to say that? Because
Can I just ask, do you believe that all the religions, it's possible that they're all not true?
yes,
Okay.
but probably, obviously I believe that Islam is true, but I believe that they could all be not true, 100%. But existence of a higher being, I would not say the same. No, 100%. I would say there has to be a higher power or a higher being, right? Yes.
A creator.
Highest, yes.
Creator.
When I use it, I understand it as highest.
Let's call it creator.
Okay, there is a creator, right? You're comfortable with that term, I'll use it, right? That there is a creator, right? I say this, there's no question there. But when it comes to me, right? But when it comes to religions, I agree with you. They could all be false, right? But the reason I asked the question in the first place, right, is that people when they encounter Christianity, right, and they leave Christianity, which is very common in the West, right, they afterwards shut down all religions, right? So they say all religions are man-made, or our religions are false, or all of this, right? They don't even try to encounter something else, to think maybe it could be something, could be true, something could not be true, right? So I was just confirming whether it's your position or not.
No, that's
right. So what do you think about a creator of the universe?
What do I think about the creator? Then it just depends on, whether... I can't answer that question without going broadly into all the philosophical types of creator. So you've got the creator who then leaves the universe to itself, or the creator's the puppet master.
Yeah.
So, it's asking me very open questions like that is very hard to answer because they're too broad.
So my question is not about what the creator does after he creates, right? So you're talking here after he creates. I'm saying that he creates at all. A creator meaning that someone created this universe. So ignoring what he does, whether he's controlling, whether he's an active creator, he left his creation, it's not the point. The point whether is there someone who created or not? This is the question.
Well, someone. What do you mean? Is there
something?
Is there an energy?
Something, not someone
something.
like a being.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
Yes.
I don't know, but there could be. Yeah.
Do you think that there is
there is a logical argument to say there is a original kind of energy, a kernel energy? Of course, there is an argument about that.
Sure. Is it conscious?
Depends what you mean by conscious.
Does it make decisions? Does it have a will?
A will.
If it didn't have a will, it cannot create.
When you're asking, if it didn't have a will, it couldn't create.
Why it would not do anything? If it's not conscious in a sense that it creates, nothing will be created. It cannot be a creator and in the same time unconscious or doesn't have a will. It has to have a will to create or to make an act.
You can have two non-conscious chemicals creating an explosion in a passive way if they didn't have to have a will.
But these non-conscious chemicals, where did they come from?
No, what I'm saying is that you're saying that everything to create...
No, I'm talking about the source, right? Because you described the energy that created. So I told you it has to be conscious if it's the one that created, right? That existed.
Well, how about this? Maybe it was a creative energy that split. Like splitting the atom.
Who caused it to split?
Don't know.
So what we say as Muslims normally, right? That because the universe exists, there has to be someone that brought the universe into existence, right? We say that the universe has possibilities, that it can come from nothing, it could create itself, right? Or something can bring it into existence. These two are illogical, obviously. Something coming from nothing, which is no space, no energy, no matter, literally nothing, which doesn't exist in reality, it's an abstract concept. And creating itself, which is an illogical contradiction, exists and not exist at the same time, which cannot happen. In order to create yourself, you have to exist. but to exist you have to create yourself, right? The only logical option that there's something out there. This something out there, we start defining its characteristics by the necessary characteristics, right? So we say it's necessary for it to be intelligent, to bring about laws, to bring about intelligent things. Laws of physics, laws of gravity, atoms of weights of the atoms, electromagnetic fields. This is the laws that I'm talking about.
Is there a law of gravity?
Is there not a law of gravity?
Theory of gravity.
There is a law, isn't it? I think there is a law. A physicist would know, not me personally. But the laws that exist, the laws that exist. The laws of physics, if you want to say, right? It has to have a will, as I said before, right? To start, initiate an act, or put things into perspective, or make something, right? This is the necessary things that we say. It has to be powerful, to cause, to split atoms, to create galaxies, whatever it is. It has to be. You want to say something?
Well, I mean, creating galaxies. It's not splitting galaxies. It's not splitting atoms.
Right,
Creating
but creating galaxies,
So
in our understanding.
The creation of an atom doesn't mean you've got the same power to split that atom.
Yes. In our understanding, the universe was, I don't know if you accept that or not, or our current understanding scientifically, there was a Big Bang, which is an explosion, which requires compressing the energy, which requires power, right? Which requires splitting atoms or something of that sort, right? So it requires power in a sense. It has to be
Are you using an example of something coming out of nothing?
something coming out of nothing.
Yeah.
No,
But you said the universe coming out of nothing.
of something.
Of what?
Something that brought it into existence. I said there has to be something. It cannot come from nothing. This is what I'm saying, right? Because if you're saying what some scientists say that it's nothing, it's not nothing. They say in their books.
That God made a singularity.
No, this is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that God made the universe in whatever way He did, and that required force, or power, right? That required that, right? So that's why I'm saying powerful. This is the characteristics that is necessary for the being, right? It has to be before it, obviously, to create it, right? And it has to be independent. It has to be the source that these things are dependent upon. So when I describe this kind of, you could say, necessary factors or something, necessary attributes, is what we describe as Allah, right? It's very different than a Santa Claus, obviously, or a man sitting on a chair, or why is in Christianity, for example. It's a being that has these capacities, that has these attributes, right?
Any form? Does Allah have any form?
No, doesn't
No
have
form.
a form. No form. Doesn't have a
No
form.
form.
Allah is unlike anything that we know. So the Quran describes
Well, that
Allah.
doesn't mean no form.
He did not describe Himself of having a form. If He did, I will affirm, right? But
So
Allah,
he could have a form,
I don't know personally.
but he could. He could have.
I'll tell you how He described Himself.
The Quran doesn't say that he doesn't have a form. It's just
What do you mean by a form? Depends on what do you mean by a form.
I suppose something that could be observed. In
If something has a form,
sort of shape.
if something has a form, it entails that it's limited. Allah is unlimited, so it cannot have a form, right? So the Quran says that there is nothing like unto Him, right? Unto the being. It's not male or female; it's above gender. There's nothing like unto it, and there's nothing comparable to it, right? So
Is there anything else eternal like Allah?
eternal is something that has no beginning, no end, right? No,
Nothing.
no. I'm positive.
Nothing else is eternal.
No,
Okay.
nothing. It's attribute that is limited to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is al-awwal wal-akhir, the first and the last, right? So if He's the first, there's nothing else eternal with Him, right? This is mainly our understanding, Islamic understanding of I'm going to say higher being. Are you going to say me a creator? Of a creator, right? Do you think it makes sense?
Well,
Does it make sense to you?
It has an internal logic. So it references the Quran.
But it references the Quran logically. So this is what I usually tell people. I could bring the argument without referencing the Quran, and the argument is whether it's logical is going to be accepted or rejected. So just me mentioning the Quran doesn't mean any connotations. You understand?
Yeah.
So I could have brought the argument without
Sure,
me.
sure.
Yeah. So, but does it make sense to you? Is it logical?
It's an argument. Yeah.
Okay, sure. This higher being that we will, the creator, sorry, the creator that created the universe, created everything, it ascribed purpose and role and functionality to everything. as human beings here, we're doing a human function, for example, right? We're breathing. We're breathing what? We're breathing air. This air is what? Oxygen.
It's not oxygen.
21% oxygen, 17. If you want to go specifically,
well,
right?
Nitrogen, then, isn't it?
Oh, if you want to go specific, right? It's oxygen and nitrogen. 21% oxygen. Let's be specific, right? And this 20% comes from the trees, comes from the plants mainly, right? Why are they giving you oxygen? Oxygen is something which is very toxic, meaning that if they give you more than you require, you will die. And then they do another thing, they take your carbon dioxide, which is this ozone sphere has 0.4 carbon dioxide, meaning if it increases, we'll be living in a freezer, minus 20 degrees. This shows that everything has a role, functionality, purpose, has harmony, right?
Well, I think it's a bit of a jump. You know, it
Sure.
has a reciprocal relationship that is
Sure.
sometimes in harmony.
Let's agree there, right? I would say that what we don't see as harmony, we still don't understand the harmony of it. This would be my argument, right? But
So you're saying everything's always in harmony.
yes.
Okay. So
I'm
we've
saying
got
that.
two things now.
What
Nothing
do
else
you
to
mean by
define,
harmony
well,
first?
You just said harmony.
Yes. What do I mean by harmony?
You said everything that
Precision. This is what I mean by harmony.
precision doesn't describe harmony. You've said that the oxygen sharing between the oxygen creators and the carbon dioxide creators are in a balance.
Yes, which is the precision
Well,
that I'm talking about.
well, could it be like 90, could it be 20.5?
If it tweaks a little
yeah,
bit,
like,
no, it's not going to work.
Like 0.1%.
If it tweaks
0.1%.
0.1%, the ozone sphere, if it's tweaked 0.1%, it's not going to work.
0.01%.
If even
Well, I
even
don't
that,
think
even
that's
that,
true,
you can research it if you like, and
There is precision. You can have precision without harmony.
all right,
Harmony
we can
is the
agree.
relationship
Let's use
between
precision. Let's not use harmony,
Because
right?
you were saying because you were saying that it's always been in harmony, and when we see
I meant with that
when we
precision.
observe it, always in precision.
I meant with that precision because the Quran describes it as precision. It says وَكُلَّ شَيْءٍ خَلَقْنَاهُ بِقَدَرٍ. Qadar is you could say precision, but
Well,
the
does
definition.
it say precision? Does it mean?
It says qadar is preciseness, right? It's precision. So that's why I use that, right? So the human beings, by definition, if they're coming from an intelligent being, right? And there is a role to everything around us. What is our purpose and role as human beings?
What's that?
What's
the purpose?
What is our purpose and role as human beings?
Sorry, the purpose of what?
Our purpose and role as human beings.
The last just before human beings.
Our purpose
yeah.
and role, R-O-L-E, yeah.
And role in human beings. Well, it depends. Again, it could be self-defined or it could be scripturally defined.
Can it be self-defined? So, if I'm a scientist, right, and I create a machine, right, or I create something, right, you don't know what this machine, you haven't seen it in your life. By definition, you come to me, right, you ask me, what does this machine do? Then I tell you the purpose, why I made this machine. Anything that is made by intelligent design, right, glasses, cab, anything, the person who makes it is the one who ascribes purpose to it, right? So if we are truly created by the higher power, the creator, right, it ascribes purpose to us because it's the one that brought us into existence. There was a point where we didn't exist. We were not in existence. And if everyone makes his subjective purpose, right, they will be in contradictory. They will not be harmonious with each other, right?
You say it has to be harmonious.
It doesn't have to be, but I'm saying that.
It is.
Sorry?
You're saying it is harmonious.
I'm saying it is in harmony. So I'm saying because the creation of human beings is one species, right? So if that creative capacity, creative power created it, right, it will ascribe to it an objective one. You could have subjective one, right, obviously, which is, yeah, that would entail that you're a creator.
Well,
Or you're a part of the creator,
Yeah, that's part of it.
right? So consciousness itself, whether this being that we're describing is conscious anyway, right? So
Ultimate.
how would
ultimate-
you define ultimate consciousness
Well,
anyway?
it's the same, isn't it? So ultimate consciousness
Is what gives consciousness to people? Is what you're trying to
No,
say?
yeah. Well, it's part of the.
We agree with that.
Part of the experience.
We agree with that understanding that Allah is the one who gives consciousness,
So
and this
where
consciousness.
does He give it from?
this from himself, or that he
Okay,
creates,
so
but it's
part
not
of
coming.
it.
No, this is the point. From himself, meaning that he creates it. It doesn't mean that it comes a physical part of him.
He creates a little
which
bit
I
more
think-
consciousness for you.
No. Like God created you, your physical form, right? In our understanding, or the universe, He creates the soul, right? This soul is not a part of the physical essence of Allah. It's a creation of Him, right?
From nothing.
Yeah. Be and it is. As be and it is, if you use it in English. It's in Arabic kun fayakun. My English is the same, you know. So, what do you think is your purpose? I don't think you answered my question. You said. Yeah. You said
It's to share.
yes.
To be.
How would you know that? How would you know that?
How would I know it? Through
The consciousness has to tell you.
being that consciousness,
So,
being that observer.
so the only way you can know is that it has to tell you that. So
It doesn't have to tell you. You can come to understanding.
it will be subjective, right? And other people will have other opinions. So it will not be verifiable. But
Well,
if it comes,
can I just check that? You know,
Go ahead, yeah.
in Islam, you're saying that God created a consciousness for everyone. So you're in a
God gave. Let me specify. God gave everyone
created.
ruh.
Created.
Yeah, creating. Gave by creating it, obviously.
Well,
Ruh.
no, gave out of giving it out of yourself is another thing, but yeah.
No, but if you say English, I gave you the book. It doesn't mean for
Yes,
my physical
well,
evidence.
I gave
yeah?
you my leg.
Yes.
You know,
I don't know what that means.
Well,
Anyways, you understood me, right?
No. It's a difference, isn't it, between?
No, I think you like to use
creating-
precise words, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
creating outside of the creator, or creating from the creator.
Sure.
So that's
So
all. I want to just
I
know
want-
what you're defining.
I wanna, yeah, very good. What I'm trying to say is, it's creating it and then giving it to the creator,
Yes.
right? He created a soul, which is ruh.
And the definition of ruh?
It's something that we have no knowledge of. The Quran is, the Prophet is asked, in the Quran, obviously. يسألونك عن الروح. They ask you about the soul, right?
Sorry? No,
They ask
let's
you
talk
about the ruh.
consciousness.
They ask you
But
about the
saying
ruh.
it's ruh is
Yeah, ruh is the consciousness.
okay, that's what I was asking.
Right? So, يسألونك عن الروح. قل الروح من أمر ربي. See, it's of the affairs of my Lord, it's of the affairs of Allah, and you've been only given this little bit of knowledge about it, right? This is the ruh. So we don't have a major
But
understanding
what
of
we
the ruh.
can agree is that you have a God-given consciousness,
Yeah.
and I am putting forward an alternative perspective, but it is also a creator-shared consciousness.
I don't think it's
That-
alternative.
No, but this is this is not my alternative.
I think it's
Yeah.
synonymous with what I'm saying.
No, because I'm saying that the consciousness that's in you and I and everywhere is part of the God consciousness.
Yeah, it's alright. I don't have to debate that. You know why?
No, but I'm just.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I understand what I understand. So I will tell you that could be an opinion, right? It's there, but what defines that is where you get the information from, right? So what defines the entity, the creator, that have these qualities? If this consciousness created the universe, it has to have the specific qualities that I gave you, right? If this consciousness brought the universe into existence, it has to have these qualities. If it has these qualities, it's synonymous with my understanding. But more understanding of it has to come from it, or has to come from a source which is verifiable, right? Otherwise, everything else will be opinion. So the next point will be, obviously, what do you think about scripture, personally?
Again, it's too broad a question. What do I think about scripture? I could speak to you for hours about it. but
Sure.
that's-
Let me specify a question then, right?
Do I
Do you think? Yeah. No. Do you think that there is a scripture that is God-based or authored by God, revealed by God, instructed by God? Do you believe that, or by the Creator? I don't like to use God because it has connotations in English, which I don't like. See you guys, no problem. So, God. Creator. Sorry.
I think everything is part of that consciousness. So the scripture is a part of that consciousness. Do I believe it is a true representation of God consciousness? No.
What do you define as consciousness? Because when we talk about scripture, it's physical writings, right? So it's not consciousness. So I'm talking about the physical writings that exist, right?
Well, no, it's consciousness, isn't it? Because
Depends how we define it.
in
That's
order
why I
to
ask
make
you.
the physical writings, you have to have the consciousness to write it.
It's through the consciousness,
Yes.
but it's not consciousness itself, right? So I spoke about it itself, the physical writing, right? It can come from the higher being, the creator.
But I think our definition of consciousness, I'm saying this is all consciousness. Even the material is conscious.
Really? That's why I'm asking you, how do you define consciousness?
I mean everything.
The problem, the hard problem of consciousness, obviously. There is a lot of definitions of what consciousness is. So I'm asking you personally, how you define consciousness as everything.
Yeah.
So this is do you read Buddhism? Did you go through Buddhism? Is that where you got the understanding, or?
Through empirical understanding, through meditation and through physics.
Which is a kind of Buddhism as well, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is, why do you...
define it as